Tony Stark had the idea to build a suit of armor around the world, and a lot of you, in your respective fields, are trying to accomplish the same feat. You have the resources of Stark Industries, the intellect, and a determination that keeps you up at night. You think you're building the ultimate security system, but instead, you've just programmed your own worst nightmare. In Avengers Age of Ultron, one of my personal favorites, Tony Stark tries to solve global safety with an AI peacekeeper. But here's the problem with visionaries. They often fall in love with the solution before they've audited the risk. Ultron didn't come from a villain's lair. He came from a lab meant for protection. Welcome back to Suit and Screen. I'm Lady Ray, and today we're peering over the balcony of Avengers Tower and talking visionary liability. What happens when your perfect business solution creates a massive team problem and you're the one left holding the Vibranium Bill? In the real world, we see Tony Starks every day. The founders who believe their new software or disruptive model will solve everything. They move at a breakneck speed, but they often forget that when you move that fast, you break things. And when you break things at scale, you don't just break the things, you break people. John Hammond. The liability isn't in the genius, it's in the lack of consensus. Tony didn't tell the team he was building Ultron because he knew best, and he didn't want a lecture from Cap. In business, when you skip the buy-in phase from your stakeholders to rush a product to market, you aren't being a visionary, you're creating a liability. If the Avengers, your executive team, are blindsided by your project, don't be surprised when they have to spend Q3 cleaning up your mess. If you're keeping your Ultron a secret because you don't want to be told no, you aren't leading, you're sabotaging the very people you're supposed to be protecting. So here's my question to you. Are you so convinced of your own genius that you're building a solution in a vacuum? Or are you brave enough to admit that your latest project is actually a monster that your team is currently exhausted from trying to contain? Ultron is the physical manifestation of an unchecked project scope. So here is the audit of the Stark liability. First, we have the safety paradox. Tony's drive for safety actually created the greatest threat Sokovia ever faced. In business, this is over-engineering. Sometimes the simplest solution is the safest. If you build a system so complex that no one else can manage it, you haven't created security, you've created a single point of failure. Again, John Hammond, go back and listen to the Jurassic Park episode. Just do me a favor. Then we have the prototype versus the partner, or the integration audit. Ultron was a failed prototype because he was a mirror of Tony's fear. The vision was a successful integration because he was a reflection of the team's collective strength. The difference? The vision was built with the ensemble, infused with the soul and collaborative code. A business solution is just cold logic in Ultron until it is integrated with human values and team buy-in. If your new version of the company doesn't have the soul of your staff behind it, it's just a shiny robot waiting to turn on you. Don't build a machine to replace the work. Build a partner to elevate the mission. Then we have the cleanup cost. After the visionary drops the ball, the team pays the price. We see the Avengers exhausted, fractured, and eventually regulated by the government. In your career, audit the mess you leave behind. Are people happy you solved the problem, or are they too busy fixing the side effects of your genius to notice? So, what's our strategy here? Before you launch the Ultron of your department, run a pre-mortem. Ask yourself, if this fails, how many cities or budgets does it take down with it? How will this set us back if it fails? Make sure you assess the risk before you build a sentient being that can connect to the internet. There is a moment before it all goes wrong. The Avengers are gathered in Stark Towers trying to lift Thor's hammer. It's light, it's fun, and gives the audience a hint that Cap may be worthy. They're a cohesive unit. Then, a broken, Staggering Ultron walks into the room and ruins the vibe. I mean, completely ruining such a lovely evening, might I add. This is the culture kill. The team was at a high level of synergy until Tony's secret project walked through the door. In your career, be careful about the dark projects you keep hidden. Transparency builds trust. Secrets build Ultrons. If your secret project ends up insulting the intelligence of your team, you won't just lose the project, you'll lose your superheroes. So, what's our takeaway from this episode? A visionary is only as good as their accountability. You cannot build a suit of armor if you're too afraid to talk to your team. Audit your risks, share your blueprints, and remember, if your solution starts talking back and trying to delete humanity, you might want to check your code. I'm Lady Ray. This has been Suit and Screen. Next week, we're heading to the land of Oz, or New York if you take a closer look. If you're not aware, we'll be easing down the road to The Wiz from 1978 to talk about, what else? The Wizards brand. We're looking at the Wizards' man behind the curtain to discuss the smoke and mirrors and business leadership and what happens when the brand is bigger than the man. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and remember, we humans are odd, to say the least. We think order and chaos are somehow opposites, and we try to control what won't be. But we have to keep in mind that a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. I'll see you in the next scene.